Hey Tube, welcome back. Today we continue our series in system design of WhatsApp. Today will be the first deep dive video, and today we will deep dive in why did we choose WebSockets over HTTP. And I guess this is quite important video. If you remember, when we did talk about the high-level design, we did talk about that we're using WebSockets in our main communication protocol among the services. So the user will connect with the load balancer using a WebSocket. The load balancer will connect with the servers or with the chat service using a WebSockets. But why? So, ever wondered why actually real-time apps like WhatsApp or multiplayer games use WebSockets instead of just regular HTTP? Today we are diving into the battle of real-time communication methods, polling, long polling, and WebSockets. And we will see exactly why WebSockets are the gold standard. So before I talk about this one, if you remember in the non-functional requirements, we said that we need pretty low latency. So we need our application to be as fast as possible, and the delivering of the messages should be in real time. So because of that, we went to WebSockets. So let's try to understand why we did that. Let me just add a new one here. So okay. So when we talking about why we did use WebSockets, let's start first with polling. Okay, what is polling? The polling, this method, it's a basic method. The client will send HTTP requests to the server every few seconds. So when we have the client and we have the server, the client will send a request like every 1 second or something like that. Basically, this request say like, do we have anything new? And if they have anything new, it will be sent. If they don't have anything new, they will not send, the server will not send anything. And this happens again and again and again and again and again and again. So now imagine thousands of requests doing this. That's a lot of waste of bandwidth and server loads. And also, we might not make our application that has super low latency. So we increase the throughput, and we don't improve or we don't reduce the latency. There is another approach, which is to use long polling. So long polling, it's a smarter but still flawed method. Instead of checking every seconds, the client will send once a request and waits. The server will hold that requests, and instead of checking every few seconds, the client will send a request. It will send one request and waits, and the servers will hold that connection until until something had something it has something to send, or when the server reach a timeout, it will send back an empty request. So again, so the client will send to the server will not send a request immediately, it will just hold it until a new thing happened or we reach a timeout. So when a message arrives, the server will respond, and then the client has to start the whole process again. The drawbacks of this one, the connections overhead, like new connections every time. Also, we have high memory usage on the server. Also, the latency will increase or reset depending on the timeout. And we will not have a real-time update, because if you send the message, let's say that the client will wait for 2 seconds, okay? And you got the message in the beginning of the 1 second. The server will not send it back until the timeout is reached. So while this is better than polling, while long polling is better than polling, it still put unnecessary strains on both client and server. Okay, so next we will talk about our star, our hero of the day. We will talk about WebSockets. So now here where WebSockets change the game. So WebSockets, with WebSocket, the client and the server will perform one handshake. Okay, one handshake to open the connection, and that connection stays open all through the session. The key benefits of this one, like no need for repeated HTTP headers, no connection reestablishment overhead. It's instant bidirectional data flow. It has great for real-time apps like chat, games, and stock tickets. So again, when the client will send a handshake to the server, we will have a bi-directional communication. So the server, whenever the server have a new information or new message to the client, it will send it directly back to the client without the client asking it. If the client want to send a request, it will send it directly to the server, and the server will forward this message to other clients. This makes WebSocket lightweight, fast, and perfect for real-time messaging. So imagine you're playing a multiplayer game or chatting in a group. Every millisecond counts with WebSockets. Every move or message is pushed instantly. No delays, no repeated requests. So, because of that, WebSockets is a store of real-time communication and bi-directional communication. So, today we did talk about polling and why it's noisy, long polling, and why it's quite heavy. And we did talk about WebSockets and why it's just the right approach to use in your chat application. And yeah, this was our first video on the deep dive of our chat system. And in the next video, I guess we will talk about how the message, what is the journey of the message, how we update the state of the message and stuff like that. So thank you for watching this video, and see you in future videos.